Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thanks for clicking on this video. This is my first Flosstube video. I have been wanting to do this for a while. It's a new year. I am turning 40 this year, so I figured now's the time. Let's do it. So I'm going to start with a WIP Parade since it is that time of year and I love watching WIP Parades, so hopefully you will enjoy this one. Before I jump into that, I should introduce myself. My name is Jen. I go by Jen's Fiberweb here on YouTube, also on Instagram, and I'm a knitter. You can see I have yarn. This is only a small amount of my yarn. I am on Ravelry under a different name. If you're interested, I can share that. I live in Northern Illinois with my husband, my 3 kids. My 2 oldest kids went back to school today after Christmas break, so it is the first day that I have had any quiet in the house in a couple of weeks. My youngest is 2 and he is taking a nap right now. So hopefully it stays that way long enough for me to film this. What else? I have a dog. I like to read. I use Goodreads and I read 100 books last year, which I don't really know how I did that. The majority were audiobooks since I like to listen as I am cross-stitching or knitting, which, by the way, I should say, Flosstube is about cross-stitch. If you just stumbled upon me, I'm going to be talking about cross-stitch. I have about 30 works in progress, aka WIPs, that I am just going to go through. That way I have a record in the future of where I was right now, and that way you can see the types of things that I like to work on, and see if you want to follow along with me on this journey this year of finishing these, hopefully most of them, many of them, starting new things. Also, I hate that I just said journey, but okay. Let's get into it. So, okay, my oldest WIP, I started in August of 2022. So all of my WIPs are either from 2022, 2023, or there are a couple things I already started this year. So this first one is a Nora Corbett pattern. My first one by her. I have never done a memorabilia or anything like that. So my first fancy lady, despite being a smaller one, is Wisteria. This is from the Blooming Pixies collection, I think, and this is what she looks like. So I have had the stitching on this done for a while, but I just pulled it out yesterday because Marjorie Maid is doing Pick-a-Whip this year, and her first prompt for 2024 Pick-a-Whip is to work on a project that intimidates you. And I put this away when I finished the regular cross stitch because I was worried about doing the Krynic and the beading. So I pulled it back out yesterday, and now all the Krynic is done, and I think about 1/3 of the beads. So here she is. I am using all the called for threads. The only place that there's Krynic is these little spots in her wings, and then all of this is beaded. There's beads up through the skirt. There's a ton of beads that need to go in around the wings, and then there's also some more like floating around on these little like tendrils that are coming off of her. So I think a couple more days of beading and I should have this done. Also, I don't know if I said, but I think I got the called for fabric too. I think I just like checked all the boxes on 1 2 3 Stitch and ordered this as like a kit. So I think it's 32 count antique white Joblin. Okay, one down. So my next WIP, I started October 15th of 2022. I will have to insert a picture of what this is going to look like when it's done because I only have it in a digital format. And this is the Autumn Lane Dark Queen of the Earth. I'm not sure what the fabric is that I'm using. It's a printed Aida, so it's like white on one side and then it's printed on the other. And you can see I got a lot done on her, but then when the face was released, I sort of froze and rolled her up and put her away while I tried to figure out what to do, and that is where she has stayed. So I'm still not sure what I'm going to do with her. I would love to finish her. She's big. I love what has been stitched so far. I just have to figure out what I'm going to do for the face. I did like the like elfish brown tree bark looking face better than the other one, but I wasn't super in love with it. So that's WIP number 2. WIP number 3 has been living in this project bag from Sherry So Sweet with this quilted pumpkin and cute little pumpkin zipper pull. Oops. So here's her logo, Sherry So Sweet. I think I found her on Etsy. And this is Cinnamon Stars by Plum Street Samplers. Another super popular design. I started this one November 2nd of 2022, and this is how far I got. So, part of the house and one little star. I think I'm stitching this on Vintage Country Mocha 40 count with 1 strand of floss over 2. I'm using the called for threads. This is another one that I think I just checked all the boxes on 1, 2, 3 Stitch. So there's Weeks Dye Works in here, and Gentle Art, and Classic Colorworks. I think I pulled this out once in 2023 to work on it, and that might have been it. So maybe this fall I'll get some more progress. I don't know where I'm going to put all of these. All right, what is next? Okay, the next one that I started is the Dimensions kit. So you will see throughout this that I stitch on all the things, whatever looks like it might make me happy. I don't really have a specific style that I stick to. So this kit is called Winter Gathering, and it's got all these cute little happy birds with their knitted hats and stockings. So like the stockings make it Christmassy, but in all the red and green. But to me, it's just sort of wintry. I bought this pattern, I think, or the kit in like 2021, at the same time that I bought Woodland Deer, which I started right away and finished already. And then I think I started this one as soon as I had finished the deer last year, but I didn't get too far before I was just sort of over stitching on winter and I wanted to stitch spring things. So this is on Very Crunchy Kit Ada, and here are my birds. It looks like I have 3 hats and parts of 2 birds, and then I started to stitch the branch that they're sitting on, and then I put it away. So that's using the kit Crunchy Ada and all the kit threads. Okay, next up is Winter White Moth by Kathy Barrick. So I started this one November 5th of 2022. I do hope that I can get a lot of progress on this year and maybe even finish it. I love this pattern. I think Kathy Barrick is definitely one of my favorites, if not my very favorite designer. This looks like it's also on Vintage Country Mocha. I think I had bought like a huge chunk and I just cut it up and started using it for things. So I started in the center, and this is how far I got. It's, a decent start on that moth in the center. And I'm using the DMCs for this. I think, yeah, just the called for DMCs. There's needlepoint silks listed and also DMC. Okay. And then the next one I have that I started November 12th of 2022 is another Dimensions kit. This one is a gold collection kit, another super popular one. This is Japanese Garden. Once I started watching Flosstube and learned about full coverage and parking, I was sort of intrigued. I had never done anything like that before. So I wanted to give it a try with this kit. And I bought a fancy frame to put it on. And here is my start. I started doing a parking method, and then I was sort of going in diagonal, and then decided I sort of hated it. So I started stitching in my threads, and I still have a few parked ones hanging out. So I love the colors on this. I love this pink tree. I was working on this every time it snowed. It was my plan. I was going to work on this super springy, happy, colorful thing every time it snowed. And I don't remember how many days I worked on it, but not that many. I'm just using the kit Ada, and I think I got worried that because I was doing a parking method, I was going to run out of threads, since it's a kit and you only have a limited amount, and then I just put it away because I got worried. But I'm definitely going to work on this again soon because I love all these pinks. They're so fun. Okay, what's next? A couple more in 2022 that I started. So this one, I'm going to have to put a picture because I only have it digitally. This was a free stitch along in the year of 2022, but I don't think you can get the charts for free anymore. This is a Year of Bouquets, I think it's called. It's by Jeannette Douglas. So I think she had already released most of these as pin cushions. So like each month would be a separate pin cushion. And you can see this starts with the pineapples for January, because I don't know why pineapples are like a Happy New Year symbol, but they are. So I've done January, February is these hearts, March, April, May, and I started on June. And my plan was to try to do each bouquet in the month it was supposed to be stitched in last year, because I had downloaded them all in 2022. I was going to stitch them in 2023. But that just didn't happen. This is on 40 count vintage country mocha again, I think. Stitched 1/1 with just threads that I pulled from stash. I didn't have much stash when I started this, so I just kind of grabbed whatever I had that looked close to the picture. I'll have to check. I think you can probably get these now, but you might have to pay for them. Okay, so my last WIP carrying over from 2022, it was actually, I actually finished this one at the end of the year. I think the last day I worked on it was on New Year's Eve. This was another free sale from GERA Knits. I will put a picture if I can find one, from 2022 around Christmas time. So like the first part of the sale was the floor and the trees, I think, and then the second part, she gave you a bunch of different options for these two little kids, like from different nationalities. You could choose your own colors, change up the skin tones, and I chose these little astronauts. And then the third part has this like amazing Santa flying in on a shooting star with like rainbow tendrils, and there's some birds and stars. But I got to this point and I just decided I kind of like it like this. So I might finish it as like a large ornament or a small flat fold. Yeah, so that's my first finish of this year. So now I can move into the projects that I started in 2023. I guess real quick before I show you that, there's one more that I started as part of my New Year's Eve 12x12 in 2022 that I just finished. And that is this little Mill Hill kit. It's called Mushroom House. It's part of the Garden Gnome Charmed Ornaments series. I just finished this a couple days ago, and I have one of the other ones from the same collection, which is the Beehive House, which I did, I don't know, the beginning of last year. So I got these because I had that Wisteria fairy and I wanted to practice beading on something smaller before I put the beads on her. So I did these little things and now I love them. They're super cute. I didn't like the actual gnomes in this collection. I just like the little houses. So now I don't know what I'm gonna do with them, but I've just been setting them up here. So I can see them and smile. My little shelf. Can you see that? It's so cute. Okay, so back to WIPs. The next one I have to show you is Tea Time by Ink Circles. And this is what it looks like. I think there's a companion one for coffee. I don't know if it's a companion, but a similar pattern for coffee that has a bunch of different coffee vessels. I liked this one. It looks like I did a conversion. The called for threads for this were not something that I had in stash, and I just wanted to start this, so I just found like close approximates from my stash, and I also changed up the colors. So here's how far I got. So if I bring this back up, let's see, wrong way. Next WIP. So on January 13th, I started Map of Hawk Run Hollow. Oh, that's not it. So I bought a bunch of the Hawk Run Hollow patterns and then realized how crazy huge they are. Even though I love them so much, I decided I needed to chill out a little bit. And I decided to start with the map, which I'll have to insert a picture because I'm not sure where my pattern is. But yeah, so I decided to start with the map because it is smaller than most of the other ones. And this is how far I got. This is like the beginning of the hawk. So like, I need one of those boards to use, but like this is gonna be his face, and then like his wing comes down, and then the map starts over here. So I didn't get very far, but I wanted to start that since I bought all the hawk runs and they've been sitting, speaking to me, wanting to be stitched. I think I worked on that like two or 3 days last year. Okay, next one is a fun one. This is called Farming Magic Stitch Along by Pixel Pixie. Cross stitch. Nope, that's wrong. It's by Flossy Fox Shop. Sorry. There are a couple that I get confused. So Flossy Fox Shop is the one that does all these adorable patterns. I'll put a picture of the finished Farming Magic, but she has this style where there are a million adorable little things to find. I love her style. This is so happy to work on. I love the cow. This was like clue 1, and then clue 2 I think went up here with the sheep and the chickens, and then clue 3 came this way with I don't know if yeah, I think this was clue 3. So I just finished this up. This was one of my WIP Go calls for January, so I have a goal to work on it for 5 days. I think I've put in 3 of those days. So I finished up clue 3, and then I came up here and started clue 4, which has this little goat. These geese. There's like a big tree up here that I did the trunk for. And then there's a bunch of like seedlings growing here. So this one is themed like Stardew Valley or like other farming games. And I love it. I love the little broken fences. I love the happy colors. And I don't know why, but instead of a project bag, I've been keeping all my flosses for this in this like Tupperware container that I stole from the kitchen. I don't know why. I have no idea. Okay, Next one is another stitch along from last year. Where have I put this one? This is called Of Dragons and Apples. I love this. This is by, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, Quaternion Creations. I'll put the name on the screen since I have no idea if that's how you pronounce it. So I got the first 3 squares done across the top, and then I started on this long one on the side, and I got sort of intimidated by the negative space stitching, and so I jumped ahead. So these little tiles continue around, and then there's like one big picture in the middle with a giant dragon and like a princess, I think. So yeah, Of Dragons and Apples. Also, I'm not sure what this fabric is. I went on eBay and got somebody's like giant stash of fabric, and a lot of it wasn't labeled. But it's like a linen, like a grayish colored linen. I don't know, it's not focusing. And I'm just using DMC for that. I think the designer used, where I have this like lighter gray color, the designer used a variegated that was like reddish and grayish, and it was very pretty. But I like mine too. Okay, next I started a blue flower design. So the blue flower is another one of my favorites. I love Jeannette's designs. Is that her name? I just said Jeannette, but I feel like I said Jeannette, and that's Jeannette Douglas. Okay, so I started the blue flower. This is one of the Seasons of the Heart patterns. There are 4 of these for each season, I believe, and I started spring. So I got a couple little bunnies and these tulips. I think I started this for the Best Bunnies sale that Katie, the novel stitcher, started last year. And I did the bunnies and then put it away. Also, I'm not sure what this fabric is. It might be like Oaken from Picture This Plus. Okay. Let me go back to my list. So next I started, after that Japanese garden, after I got worried about it, I decided to start an actual full coverage piece. This is, I'll have to put a picture up. This is called Chromatic Dragon, and it is charted by Pain Free Crafts. I'm not sure about the original artist for this. I've seen it accredited to a couple different people, and I've also seen it mentioned that it was created by AI, and I'm not sure. I didn't know that when I bought it. I thought it was just like an actual piece of artwork, so I'm not sure how I feel about this. There are a ton of part threads, and my progress is basically, I went all the way across the top, so that's like the full width. And I started some of the horns that are coming off the head of the dragon. And this is another one where I still am not sure what kind of full coverage stitcher I am. So I have some threads parked, I have some that I like completed. I don't know what I'm doing. Also, this one has a ton of 310 and 939, so I was just trying to like work on blocks of the background and then do some of these more fun, colorful pieces, and then go do some blocks of the background. There was a stitch along for this one as well. I think I'm in a group on Instagram of a bunch of people that started it. I'm not sure if anyone has finished it. But that's a fun one and a good one to work on this year since it is the year of the dragon. So hopefully I'll be able to pull that out a lot. Same with the of Apples and Dragons stitch along. Okay. Next, I have another dimensions kit. I'm not going to talk too much about this one because I have a sad start. This is a Dimensions Gold Collection Petite called Chickadees in Spring. I think this one is really cute. A lot of the background is just half stitches, so, excuse me. Theoretically, this one should be quick. And look, this is how big the, this says how big the fabric is that came with it. I don't even know which way is up. Not sure. I'll have to figure that out. I think it's this way. So I worked on this for one day, obviously. I put in some half stitches, and then I think what happened was I wasn't ready to pay attention to the intricate chart because, you know, it's a petites, but they're almost harder because there's less blocks of color because they're trying to fit so much detail into a smaller area. But maybe towards the spring I'll be able to get that one back out. Okay, and then February. So that one I had started in February. This one is also in February of 23. I started another full coverage. This one was a free stitch along. That the parts were released on Facebook in a Facebook group. I think when it ended there were 24 pages, so maybe they did two, like one every 2 weeks or something. I'm not sure. But this is how far I got. I didn't even finish the first page. I'll put in a picture of what this looks like. It's a giant rose, and this is just like the background. So it's a bunch of yellows and greens for the background, and then the majority of the pieces actually like pink and red. The title of it is Peppermint Rose. I don't know if I said that already. So it's like a stripy, reddish, pinkish, whitish rose. Just a giant one. So I'm having fun with that, trying to... I think I did that one on 28 count, and the Chromatic Dragon was on 25, and the Chromatic Dragon, I forgot to say, I was doing that one 2/1 10 stitch. This one's 1/1 full cross. So I'm just trying to feel out all the different options and see what I like to do for full coverage. Okay. My next WIP is Reaching Skyward from Modern Folk Embroidery. I started this in March of 2023, so I had a late start. And this is how far I got. So, the original pattern, which I will have put up on the screen, has 2 colors, and I chose a third color just for some accents. So I picked DMCs that I liked. I have a dark gray. This is $37.99, and then a warm lighter gray were my 2 main colors. This is $6.46, and then just for some fun accents, I chose this like pink, 3064, and then yeah, I'm not sure what this fabric is, but I really liked how it looked on there. I wonder, I didn't know that I was going to do a Flosstube, so I didn't really keep track of all this stuff that well when I was starting all these things. I don't really have any plans for like significant progress on that this year. It'll be like if I feel like it, I'll pull it out. But I kind of want to focus this year on getting a bunch of the smaller things done that have been sitting and really have no reason to. Okay, so my next start is Prairie Wind by Carolyn Manning. I'll put in a picture of what it looks like when it's done. Okay, so Prairie Wind. I started this March 12th. Let me get this off of here. All right. I should have checked. I think this one is almost 15, over 15%, almost 20. Let's see if I can fit the whole thing. So yeah, I really like working on this. It's super relaxing. I have this one on Pattern Keeper. I really enjoy working on it. I guess this one is technically full coverage too, but I'm not doing any sort of parking or anything. I'm just stitching it as I normally would in chunks. I'm trying to get enough of the frame in and the center so that I can start color completing. So I guess that would be more of like a cross-country style approach. Love this one. I went crazy and bought a bunch of Carolyn's patterns. And I think I want to try to tissue box them, meaning I'll work on this one, and then as soon as I finish this, I'll pull the next one from the box and start that, and just keep it going. I like to work on those like later at night when my eyes are tired. Oh, and I didn't say, this is on like a solid colored Ada. Maybe 16 count? Not sure what the color is. Okay, my next start is a Witchy Stitcher pattern. This is Stephen King House. I am using the called for threads. And, sorry. This is how far I got. I just started framing out the rooms and then working on that one room in the center with the little ghosty. I actually don't know what story that's from. The carpet makes me think of The Shining, but I don't know. I'm not a big Stephen King fan, but my husband and my father-in-law are, so I kind of picked this one for him. That one was stitching up really quick, and I had like high hopes of getting it done fast, and then I put it away because I got distracted. So yeah. Next I have another Halloween-y type pattern. I haven't been showing my bags. This is in a Farmhouse Needleworks bag. With pumpkins and spooky trees. So, Greenhouse of Oddities, Lola Crow. This is how far I got. I think I might have been starting to work on the frame when the clues were coming out. I didn't take advantage of it coming out ahead of time. And then, I don't know why I didn't get further on that. Also, this fabric, I didn't say. This is a linen. Oh, I have a needle hanging here. Okay. I think this might be from the Crazy Hamster, who sells her fabrics on Facebook. She has a Facebook group, and she also sells in one of the big D-Stash groups. I think that's from her. I don't think she names the colors of her fabric. Okay, the next one I started on April 15th. This one is kind of strange. This is another, like, I bought a big lot of things on eBay and didn't really know what I was going to get. And one of the things in there was this Wonder Art kit. It's called Welcome. And it came with a hoop. It's like a little plastic hoop. I don't know, does it say what year this is from? Made and printed in the USA in Chicago. I don't see a year. But my husband was going in to have surgery, like on his spine, and I was going to go be sitting in the waiting room, and I wanted something to work on because I knew I was going to be full of anxiety, and I didn't want it to be a project that I super cared about if I like freaked out and, I don't know, messed it all up. So I started this just to work on like in the waiting room, and that's how far I got. So I don't really know what I'll do with this, but maybe I'll just keep it around for like stressful times. If my kids have to go to the doctor or my husband has things going on, just work on it when I don't want to have to think too much. Okay. Next up, I have another Witchy Stitcher pattern. This one should also be a quick finish. However, I worked on it once and put it away. And this is Poisonous Plants. That's hard to see. Do I have something I can put behind? That's a little bit better. So I got the foxglove done. And then I put it away. Would love to come back to that one. That is one where I would really like to have the finished project, like to be able to put it up. A lot of my stitching and knitting and crocheting and whatever else I get up to is more for the process. I like learning new things and yeah, finding different ways of using materials that I'm familiar with. So usually it's a process project that I enjoy, but this one I want the end product. Okay. My next WIP, oh, I made this bag. Just like my first attempt at patchwork. It's not the best, but I think it's cute. So this is Cottage Garden Samplings Beezy Spring. It's from the Time for All Seasons series. And this is how far I got. I have the little bee and the top of the beehive outline. And that's it. This is on the called for, which is 40 count ancient linen by Picture This Plus, and I am using all the called for threads, stitching 1/2. That one's fun to work on, but I thought I liked 40 count more than I actually do. Like, I like how it looks when it's done, and I like working on it like in the morning when I'm awake and have all of my faculties about me. But it's hard to work on in the evenings and at night. Okay. The next project I have is another dimensions kit. This one also has a sad start, but I will show it anyway. This is the Finery of Nature. So I saw this one and I absolutely loved it. I like the dark background and all the dragonfly, the birds, the butterflies. I love it. It's beautiful. But it is on crunchy black Aida, and look at all the threads. There's like 2 of these giant things that I tried to sort of braid together, and then there's a bunch of other ones that they added that there's too many to fit on those cards. So here's my big piece of black Aida that you can see through, of course. And there's my little start. I don't even know what that is. Part of a flower somewhere? Yeah, I think I started like some of these little, I don't know, red and green viney flowers. Not sure. After I started this one, I realized I should probably limit my dimensions kits that I have going and focus on the other ones first and not try to work on them all. Okay. How many do we have left? Only like 8? All of my bags fell over. Now they're all out of order. Okay, this is another weird, like, vintage kit that I got on eBay. This is Rainbow Dreams, part of the Dreamsicles collection from Leisure Arts. Let me see, does it say who? I don't know who designed it. There's a bunch of these, and I don't like all of them, but for some reason, this one with the little bluebird and all the pink flowers, I just wanted to make it. So, let's start with it. This is how far I got. I just have part of a little baby face with pink cheeks. Is that not like the creepiest start? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. She's cute. Okay. My next new start, I started because Cross Stitch Bunny and Charlie Feathers were starting this. And this is Welcome to the Forest, which is a Country Cottage Needleworks series of patterns. So I will find a picture of what they all look like together. But here's like the first one. And then there's all these animals. There's a deer, fox, and a squirrel, a bear. Okay, so I am planning to stitch these all together as one big piece. You can get the chart for a border to connect them all for free online. So I did that. And again, I'm sorry, I don't know what this fabric is, but it's very stiff and thick. It looks like a linen, but it's like, it feels almost as thick as the kit Ada. I don't know why I'm unrolling it all. This is where I started. I just started to frame out that top, that first chart with the sign that says Welcome to the Forest. Someday I'm going to figure out which way to move these things when it's not in the frame. This way? There we go. So I did get the called for colors for this, which include a bunch of Plastic Colorworks and some DMCs. And they are like fun, bright, springy colors. There's like a darker coral too somewhere. So that one is very fun and happy. I realize I have a lot of like spring themed patterns. I think when it gets to winter time, I just want to stitch on spring things because I guess winter is not my favorite. Okay. Let's see. Okay, next I have, oh look, another bag that I made. These are like cute if you don't look too close. Like they're not, my seams are not great. I can't sew a straight line, I guess. Okay, so this is the Four Seasons Stitch Along from Satsuma Street. And I got the kit for this that comes with Cosmo floss, which I had never tried before. And it comes with this black linen. And you're not going to be able to see this. What's that? This way. This is my start. So the first part of the stitch along that came out was, why is this? Okay, so it's the 4 elements. There's like water, fire, I don't know what the 4 elements are. Wind, earth, I don't know. The first one that came out was water, and I started on the waves just to see like how the Cosmo floss felt. And I didn't get very far, but I really love how bold and colorful the Satsuma Street designs are, and I know I'm going to love this once I give it some time. And I only stitched a little bit with the Cosmo floss, but it was comparable to DMC in my humble opinion. Okay, and then another stitch along. This one is Castle Homecoming from Frosted Pumpkin, and I believe I'm still on the first clue. So here's my little tiny start. I have a flag, I have some of the banner, I have the little girl with the trumpet. It's probably not a trumpet, is it? It's like a I don't know. I'll put in a picture of what it looks like right now. This one is still ongoing, so I don't think we have all of the clues yet. But I think there might be only one left, and I'm still on the first one. I didn't say what fabric that was. I'm pretty sure that's another one from the Crazy Hamster. Okay, next I have Pixie Lane. I started this in July. This was a free stitch along from Pine Needles, Utah, where they just had a bunch of little fairy houses. And in my batch of odds and ends fabrics from eBay, I got this, I don't know what you call this. It's like a banner, I don't know. But it was the perfect size for this, so I started it. Here's my first little fairy house. I'm just using the called for DMCs when I have them, or a close neighbor if I don't. I just go online and there's like a website where you can type in the DMC code and it will give you the closest ones, and it shows you them all next to each other. So if you want to pick one that's a little darker, a little lighter, over one that's warmer, cooler, whatever, I use that a lot if I don't have the called for. Okay, I think I only have 3 left. So this was my last start of 2023. And I started this in September. This is Plum Street Samplers Jack's Bash. So, oops. This way. This is a giant project. I love it. I had it in my stash for a little while, and I wanted to start it so bad, so I just did. Again, I'm not sure what this fabric is, but here's my start. I got a flower done and started in on this haunted house looking mansion-y thing, and I did 1 letter, A. I love this pattern. I don't know, it's just one of those ones that as soon as I saw it, I was like, I need to stitch that. And then I didn't start it, and at the end of last year, I kind of stopped stitching for a few months, and I went crazy with knitting. I think like for all of November and December, all I did was knit. And now, since the new year has started, I have not touched any yarn. I've only been stitching. So maybe I'm just going to go in waves like that, back and forth. I don't know. But I love this. I want to have more time to work on it. It is on 40 count, so it is one that takes me longer, more focus, harder on my eyes, so we'll see. Okay, so all I have left now is 2 new starts that I've started since the beginning of the year. The first one is my New Year New Start. And this one I had waiting in my kit pile for a while. This is Needles Dance. This was a collaboration between Ink Circles, Summer House Stitchworks, and Hands On Design. And they had 2 samples, one on the blue fabric and one on this like neutral down here. And I liked it on the darker fabric, so I chose something similar, but blue, like true blue, is not really my favorite, so I went a little more teal with it. And here is my start on Needles Dance. I did a full just like stash conversion for this. I have like a Forbidden Fiber Co., a Classic Colorworks, a Gentle Arts. I don't know what this is, Cottage Colors. This is another thing that I just got in like a D-stash. And then I have 1 DMC. So I love this. It's stitching up faster than I thought it would. Super fun to work on. I think I've worked on it for 3 days, maybe 4. And then my last new start, I've already finished 3 or 4 things this year, and so I'm trying to do only one new start for every 2 finishes. So I did my New Year new start, and then I finished a couple things and decided to start this. This is AHTEE by Barrick. This is a reproduction sampler. I love it. I think, White Winter Moth is a Quaker, so this is my second Quaker. But I haven't gotten to any of the Quaker motifs yet on the Winter White Moth, so this is where I started. I only worked on this for 2 days, and I just did the very first motif, which is the one that has the initials in it and the date. And I'm contemplating if I want to put like my initials and my husband's in there, because it seems to symbolize a wedding, right? Or what? But I love this. I'm using needlepoint silks left over from Sleepy Hollow by Hello from Liz Matthews, and I have a bunch of different colors. I have some oranges, browns, greens, and I'm just gonna pull whichever color I feel like for each motif as I go. I'm thinking about adding a couple other colors, like some dark purples or pinks to mix it up so it's not so fall, but we'll see. So that was my last new start, and this is the end of my first YouTube video. I feel like I am one of those people who, once I start talking in front of a group or to a camera, I forget every single word that I have said. Like something in my brain just stops working. So it will be interesting to watch this back and see what I meant to say and forgot to say, or extra things that I added in that I didn't plan on saying. But yeah, it's my first one. Hopefully I am brave enough to post it, and if anybody is interested in seeing how I progress with these projects and what else I end up starting, then I will make more videos. So let me know what you think. Leave a comment. Yeah, let me know what you think. I would love to hear any feedback that anyone has. I've been a long time viewer of Flosstubes. I have seen tons of different Flosstubers videos. I love WIP Parades, like I said at the beginning. So hopefully you saw something in here that either you're also stitching or that you would like to stitch. And yeah, if you like to do similar things to me, maybe you want to subscribe and come along with me, see what else I get up to. Okay, I'm going to end it there. Happy New Year. Take care.